We're looking at the challenges of the planetary boundaries, okay? And I bring in my breakfast, the bagel. And in that context here that Kate Raworth also mentions, this is a representation of the planetary boundaries. And clearly there is such a thing as a limit to growth, as there is a limit to resources. And it seems in many ways, and people mock economists, that they don't understand this fact, that there are such things as limits. There are planetary boundaries. They really constrain our activity. That could be seen as a bad thing. On the other hand, it just is. It's a fact. It's a fact of life that we can manage with if we want to. It seems, however, that currently we're sort of delusional about it and think and behave in this way as if maximization was possible. There were no limits to growth. So what kind of planetary boundaries are there? There's clearly climate and the climate impact and the climate change and the limits in terms of how much CO2 can there be in the air or methane to impact rising temperature. Yet there are also other planetary boundaries in terms of the oceans and fish and overfishing, for example, life in the underwater. That's one of the SDGs. Life on Earth. There is staggering evidence that we are at this point living in a time where biodiversity is decreasing. That's not a good thing, because diversity is necessary for life to flourish. Other folks are saying we're living in the times of when the mass extinction, the fifth mass extinction happened. Actually, they call it a sixth mass extinction. This is a planetary boundary, life on Earth. That's part of the SDGs as well. There are other ecosystems that we rely on. Rivers, mountains, ice. We've heard that ice caps on glaciers in Iceland, for example, have been melting for the first time, that the Arctic is melted over the summer, that truly new possibilities emerge in some way from a traditional economistic sense, that we can expand our planetary boundaries and the resources there. On the other hand, it is a fact that if we don't have those ice caps, our climate is changing, and there are all kinds of repercussions for people everywhere across the globe. So those planetary boundaries are typically not part of a traditional business curriculum, and yet they are so critical and crucial to understand. And what we do and how we organize to respect them is critical. I encourage you to look into those planetary boundaries, to understand more what the impact of human activity on the planet is, and try to become literate in this context, more literate.